Most people believe their suffering comes from pressure, responsibility, or lack of freedom. They believe life is too demanding, too fast, too heavy. But the ancient warriors of Japan saw a different problem entirely. They believed suffering came from escape, from the quiet habit of always leaving the moment before it finished shaping you. And once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Long before modern distractions existed, the samurai identified a hidden weakness of the human mind. Not fear, not pain, but the tendency to keep a door open behind oneself. A mental exit, a plan to quit, delay, distract, or soften reality. They believed that a man who always keeps an escape will never fully arrive anywhere, and a man who never fully arrives will never become strong. This principle appears again and again in Japanese philosophy, in Bushido, in Zen, and most clearly in the life of Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi did not merely fight duels, he trained his mind to remain where others vanished. He believed that the moment you begin negotiating with discomfort, you have already retreated, not physically, but spiritually. And to the samurai, that retreat was fatal long before any blade was drawn. Chapter 1. The Hidden Exit. In the modern world lived a man named Akira. His life was not dramatic. He had work, responsibilities, and enough comfort to feel safe. Nothing was obviously wrong, and yet nothing felt anchored. His days slipped past him without resistance, without weight, without meaning. Whenever discomfort appeared, he shifted away from it without noticing. When work demanded focus, he reached for his phone. When silence arrived, he filled it with noise. Akira believed he lacked motivation. He believed something inside him was broken or missing, but this was not the truth. Motivation was never the problem. The problem was that every moment of resistance had an exit nearby. His mind, like water, flowed toward the easiest path. Over time, his attention weakened, his resolve softened, and his sense of self blurred. He did not fail loudly, he dissolved quietly. Each small escape taught him something dangerous, that his word to himself was negotiable, that effort was optional, that discomfort was a signal to leave rather than to stay. And without realizing it, Akira had trained himself out of presence. Chapter 2. What the Samurai Knew. Ancient samurai training was built on an uncomfortable truth. A warrior who escapes discomfort during practice will escape reality in battle. For this reason, training halls were not designed for comfort. Cold floors, repetitive movements, long silences, and strict routines were not punishments. They were instruction. In Bushido, retreat was not forbidden. Retreat could be strategic. Escape, however, was despised. Escape was psychological. It happened when the mind abandoned the present moment before the body did. To the samurai, this fracture of spirit was more dangerous than any enemy. A divided mind could not act cleanly. Musashi wrote that one must accept everything just the way it is. This acceptance was not passive, it was total engagement without emotional leakage. Pain was felt fully. Confusion was examined without panic. There was no mental running, no fantasy of elsewhere. The discipline was simple but severe. Stay. Chapter 3. Stillness as fire. The mind resists stillness because stillness reveals truth. When distractions vanish, unresolved tensions surface. Regrets, fears, and unexamined desires rise like sediment in clear water. This is why most people avoid silence, not because it is empty, but because it is full. Zen training embraced this confrontation directly. Monks sat for hours, not to achieve peace, but to endure reality without decoration. They did not chase calm. They allowed turbulence to exhaust itself. The discipline was not to escape the storm, but to remain seated within it. Akira encountered this truth not through philosophy, but through exhaustion. One evening, overwhelmed by distraction, he sat in silence with nothing to entertain himself. No phone, no music, no escape. At first, discomfort screamed for attention. His thoughts raced, his body shifted, his breath grew shallow. He wanted to leave the moment, but there was nowhere to go. Minutes stretched, his breathing slowed. The chaos did not disappear, but something else appeared beneath it. A quiet strength, a realization that discomfort did not destroy him. It only demanded his presence. Chapter 4. Identity before emotion. The samurai did not ask themselves how they felt about training each day. Their identity preceded emotion. They trained because that was who they were. Discipline was not an act of willpower, but an expression of self-definition. Modern life teaches the opposite. If you feel tired, stop. If you feel bored, switch. If you feel resistance, avoid. Over time, this constant negotiation erodes identity. A person becomes a collection of reactions rather than a force of intention. Akira began to see this pattern in himself. Every abandoned task weakened his trust in his own word. Every escape reshaped who he believed himself to be. The discipline of no escape demanded something radical yet simple. Decide who you are in advance, then act accordingly without debate. Chapter 5. Small, non-negotiable acts. Musashi did not seek grand gestures. He refined fundamentals relentlessly. Footwork, posture, timing, small actions repeated without exception. This was how mastery was built, not through intensity, but through consistency without escape. Akira chose one small practice. Each morning, he would sit in silence for 10 minutes. No negotiations, no emotional assessment. If resistance appeared, it would be observed, not obeyed. The practice was not about meditation, it was about staying. At first, the mind protested. It offered excuses and distractions, but Akira did not argue. He did not motivate himself, he simply remained. Over weeks, something subtle shifted. His attention strengthened. His inner voice grew quieter. He began to trust himself again. Chapter 6. Removing the excess. Samurai armor was designed to protect without excess. Every unnecessary weight was removed. The same principle applied inwardly. The discipline of no escape required eliminating habits that existed only to avoid discomfort. Akira noticed how many tools he used not for utility, but for escape. Endless scrolling, background noise, constant stimulation. He did not demonize these things, he reduced them. Silence returned, focus sharpened. In this emptiness, clarity emerged. Not excitement, but steadiness. Not motivation, but resolve. Life did not become easier, it became simpler. Problems were faced directly, without mental detours. Chapter 7. Presence as power. The ultimate weapon of the samurai was not the sword, but presence. An opponent could sense when a warrior was fully there. No hesitation, no division, just attention sharpened to a single point. In modern life, presence has become rare. Most people are physically somewhere and mentally elsewhere. The discipline of no escape reunites these fragments. It trains the mind to stay where the body is, to finish what is started, to meet discomfort without flinching. Akira noticed this presence spreading. Conversations deepened, work improved. Decisions became cleaner. He was no longer searching for exits. He was standing inside his actions. Chapter 8. Surrender without weakness. To the warrior, surrender was not defeat. It was alignment with reality. Fighting what is wastes energy. Accepting what is allows precise action. Musashi surrendered fully to his path. Poverty, solitude, uncertainty. He did not romanticize suffering, but he did not escape it. This surrender made him adaptable, grounded, and unshakable. Akira surrendered his need for constant comfort. He stopped demanding ease from life. In return, life offered him strength. Not dramatic strength, but quiet durability, the kind that remains when excitement fades. Conclusion. The quiet path forward. The discipline of no escape is not about becoming hard. It is about becoming whole. It asks you to stay where you are long enough to transform. It removes the illusion that comfort creates strength. Ancient Japanese philosophy does not promise happiness. It offers clarity. It teaches that inner freedom comes not from avoiding pain, but from meeting it without fragmentation. This is the path of the warrior, whether on a battlefield or in a silent room. When you stop escaping, life stops chasing you. When you remain present, reality reveals its structure. And within that structure, strength is no longer something you seek, it is simply who you are.